Hello everyone, this is AmberAnkNA here. Welcome to my channel. Well, I play a variety of games and do narrations for fanfics. I'm really hoping you enjoy my content. If you do, make sure to comment below, leave a like, and subscribe with the notifications on. Right, so next time, this is AmberAnkNA. Welcome to my channel. So, hi. Broken Chains, Chapter 4. Riku sighed heavily. It had been a day since he, the Fake, Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy had faced Sora. Though Diz had told them to return to him, they certainly were in a hurry. Since yesterday, no one had really said anything. Riku was still trying to process the tired ordeal. Sora didn't recognize them. He was with the people in black coats. What exactly did they want with Sora? Was there any hope in getting him back? What if there wasn't? Riku stopped his tracks and looked around. It didn't look like anyone had said anything. Riku! Who said that? He asked. He turned and faced his companions. They shrugged, and Donald and Goofy were concerned. We didn't say anything, said Goofy. You must be imagining things, Donald added. Wonderful. And noticing that everything else, Riku was going crazy. I know you could feel it. The grip I have on your heart. Riku put a hand onto his chest. No! Not now! Not handsome! You are let in the darkness, Riku. I mean very soon, your heart shall become an all-consuming darkness. I'm not like that now, Riku said out loud. What's wrong, Riku? Goofy asked. He posed the teen. Yes, you are. Ansem snapped. Riku felt piercing cold grip his chest. His muscles locked. He couldn't move. Whiffs of darkness rose in front of his vision. Riku! Donald cried. It's his darkness! The Fake was saying. He can control it! Riku tried to focus on the words, but as each second passed, it became more and more of a challenge. The deeper the darkness runs inside you, the stronger I become. Instant voice boomed. Controlling you is effortless. Fight it! The Fake yelled. It's your darkness! You can control it! The cold spread. The iciness creeped into his veins, making him stutter. It was getting hard to even breathe. I think he once craved this. Now it disgusted him. It scared him. Then suddenly, Ansem grunted in frustration. Must you interfere now again? Light filled Riku's vision, and the cold proceeded to be replaced by calming warmth. He was able to move again. He tried to catch his breath. Phew! So glad I made it in time! A bright, familiar voice screamed. That ought to keep Ansem busy for a while. Your Majesty! Donald, Goofy, and Jimmy exclaimed. Riku turned. Sure enough, there was King Mickey, his only companion in the realm of darkness, and guided in this castle. Riku reached out to touch him, to see if he was real. Before he could, though, Donald and Goofy had already embraced him. You're really here! Riku said weakly. I'm sorry I took so long to get to you, the king said as he approached Riku. But I made a promise to you that I would find a way, didn't I? Riku fell to his knees. The weight of the previous days seemed to have finally caught up with him. He'd been pushing it away for so long. The others made their way to his side. "I'm awake," Rieger said as he waved them off. "I'm just relieved." The Kings gazed around the hall a couple more times. "Wait a minute! Is it Sora with you?" The greed that had filled the room instantly vibrated. "A lot of things had happened the last time you were here, the last while," Germany replied. It was then that we could realize how long it had been since Sora had lost his memories. 9 days. Even though we who had only known of this since yesterday, it still felt like entirely too long. Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy took turns explaining what happened. Rico took this time to tune them out, but he did notice the King's expression grow more and more worried as the three told their stories. "What about you?" the King asked, turning his attention to the Fake. The Fake, who had been leaning against the wall, said taller, "I am a replica. I was really created to test the real thing's strengths and return to them to darkness." Riku flinched. "The people that created me then had to nominate and plant fake memories in me." The Fake looked away. "I hope she's okay." "What's your name?" the King asked, kindness in his voice. "My name?" the Fake asked, surprise written on his face. "I've been calling myself Riku and Fake for so long, but neither of those names fit me anymore." Riku looked away. He'd been pre-calculating that, though while this boy still had his appearance, he was becoming his own person. "What about Sin?" Riku had asked. "It means real or new, where I come from." The boy crossed his arms and concentrated it. "I also been calling you Fake," Riku continued. "I shouldn't do that. You shouldn't have to base your life around mine." "Yeah, you're a person, Sin," Goofy said. He put his hand on the boy's shoulder. "Nice to officially meet you, Sin," Donald added. Germany piped up from Goofy's shoulder, journal in hand. "I can't wait to get to know you, Sin." The King approached the boy and held out his hand. "Good to meet you, Sin." Sin accepted the King's hand and shook it. A small frown formed on his face. "It's good to meet you too." Sin then looked to Riku, who nodded. Sin took a deep breath as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. The King turned to the others. "Now to figure out the next step. You're trying to get Sora, but Mimosa has control over him. What about Naminé?" "It looks like Naminé didn't want to do what Mimosa told her," Goofy commented. "We may be able to convince her to help us." Sin added, "Mimosa and Lost Sea were always awful to her, and they made her do things she never wanted. And Sora would do anything to protect Naminé," Donald said. "So," Mickey said, "what I'm hearing is that we need to talk to Naminé and see if she'd be able to convince Sora to go with us." The group nodded. "But first, we need to talk with Diz," Riku stated. At the King's questioning work, he continued, "He met us here yesterday, and looked like Ansem at first. Then he told us that Mimosa has too tight of a grip on Sora." Riku turned his gaze to the ground. "And he was right. He told us to go back to him, but we've just been taking our time." The King nodded. "Well, let's hurry." Sin opened a dark corridor, and the group proceeded through. Astral shifted from his hiding place after the dark corridor dissolved away. Like always, those with hearts always confused him. They were willing to do everything they could for those they loved. Asshole couldn't say when the last time he cared for someone was. Sure, he stuck with Silas, but that was because of their former lives, back when they had hearts. Speaking of Silas, Oswald was going to have some interesting news for him. Still, he couldn't return yet. This was just starting to get interesting. He wondered if he'd be able to at least nominate. Maybe he could stray her again. When no problem was solved, it wasn't long before Riku and the others made it back to Diz. His visible orange eye was narrowed. So, he asked as the group proposed. After a second to compose himself, Riku spoke. You were right! Saul was under their control. He doesn't remember us. He only knows my name. As I expected, Diz responded. Riku frowned and crossed his arms. He wasn't exactly fond of Diz's tone. He almost felt like he was backing Skull getting told off. This crew had been working to waste Sora's memories so they can attain the power of the Keyblade. They have succeeded. What the purpose for him is, I am not sure yet. Quite sure. I am not sure yet. Though I do have theories. One of their number also has the ability. So as of this moment, I do not know why they need Sora. There are more out there than the ones we fought? Donald asked in alarm. Oh yes, Diz answered. They recently recruited number 13 and 14 to their rank. The members that were here constituted about half of them. Goofy started counting on his fingers. Let's see. There was Asshole, Racine, Vincent, and Marusa. And Yesius and Jussian, Riku added. I defeated Lesius before I met up with everyone. Sora beat Racine and Asshole. And Absol, Donald stuttered, killed Vincent. So that's 4 down and 10 to go, the king concluded. That's a lot of them, but we know it's possible to beat them. But what can we do about nominating Sora? Sin asked. We need to free them somehow. Riku noticed Diz's lips curl as Sin spoke. We may be able to retrieve them. If it comes to it, however, we may need to strike Sora down. Riku's eyes widened. No way! He cried. Sora never give up on me, so I'm not going to give up on him. Sin nodded with him in agreement. His friends grinned. We promised Sora we help him remember. Goofy exclaimed. Yeah, Donald agreed. We turned our backs on him before, but we're not going to make that mistake again. I only met Sora once, the king said, but I know he wouldn't want us to give up on him. Diz knew his visible eye. I suppose we will have to wait and see. For now, though, we must retreat and recuperate. The group sighed, but it seemed everyone was in agreement. They needed to spend some time to recover from the ordeals of this castle and come up with a plan for rescuing Sora. Losses, Day 54. Once Losses started writing, it was hard to stop. He wrote down the memory of Sora meeting Marusa for the first time. After that, it was like releasing a flood. His pen hardly left the page as it described the thoughts and events Sora had incurred all the way up to the 13th floor. His memories about that floor and everything following were still hazy. He didn't realize how long he'd been at his desk until he looked up and noticed the time on his clock. Losses grinned and stood. He was stiff but not nearly as bad as when he woken up the other day. He wasn't sure how long he'd been sitting there. It was impossible to tell how much time had passed. just judging by the sigh. There weren't any scars or a moon to help with that. As he readied himself for bed, Watson started forming a plan for the next day. He would accept his mission like normal and complete it as quickly as he could. Then he would go to Destiny Islands and talk to Kylie about everything he written. He would need to remember to take his journal with him. Hopefully, he still have time to go to the castle. Maybe memories of the 13th floor will return to him. There was something really warm happening at Castle Oblivion. Hi everyone. This is Emma 2000 again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Because, I really did enjoy making it. But, so I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe with the notifications on down below. Till next time, bye!